Hello everyone, it's Alessandra here. Welcome back and thank you for dropping by, whether it's your first time or you're a repeat visitor. I am very grateful for each one of you. Thank you for listening to me with my readings, and I know that somehow they will help along the way, even though in that particular day it may not make any sense. Sometimes it takes a few days or maybe weeks for a message to actually come through. Now today I'm going to choose one card to start off with from my John Holland cards. They're tarot cards. They're just a bit different in their images, but they're still tarot cards. And they were calling me, so I follow that instinct. And today's a number 7 day. And that means that today is a day where we are exploring our inner truth, but also looking on the outside to see if we are picking up those pieces along the way and finding those connections and the dots within ourselves. Discernment. What is it to be discerning of the truth? Well, you pick up the pieces on the outside, the noise or the peacefulness or whatever it is that you have in your awareness, and then you go inside and ask the question, what is it that I need to understand from these bits and pieces? Are they serving me? Do I need to let them go? Is there any truth in them? What is it that is coming through intuitively? Because the 7 is the connection between your intuitive side, the inner, and the outer. The outer usually brings you messages, not necessarily they are your truth. You just bring them inside and ask the question, is this for me? Is this what I need to know? Is there more to it? And the answers will come through symbols or just thoughts or visions. Some people hear things, some people see things, others get the messages on the outside, or like, for example, I'm giving you a message that may be a response to something you were asking on a deeper level. So nothing is ever lost. We're just putting all the bits and pieces together. And the 7 is the duality. It's the 2 pillars of God. It's that connection where we are looking within ourselves, because everything comes from within. Everything is connected to the higher consciousness. We are all connected to each other, and we bring each other messages along the way. So let's see what comes out of that sort of introduction to the cards, to the number 7 day. Something you need to look at. Look after yourself. So let's pick a card. Shadow. So on a number 7 day, it's not really something that would be unusual because it's going within. So we need to look at the shadow work. What is the shadow work? All those events and situations in our lives where we haven't learned something, or we need to still free up the energy. It hasn't been cut from our awareness. So what I mean by cut is cutting the cords from events, situations, and stories and narratives and beliefs that are no longer serving us, but we keep holding on to them. So this card is actually a beautiful card because it's saying, look at both sides. But at the same time, are you able to go within those wounds, within those events, reconnect with that memory and see what it was that it was teaching you? Now, on a global level, that's what we're doing right now. We're connecting all the dots and we're trying to figure out what is it that we need to learn from this situation. Well, definitely there needs to be a change of some sort. We need to let go of certain beliefs, of the illusion of having everything under control, because definitely we are not in control of everything. So it's inviting us to have a look on a deeper level personally, but also on a more expanded outward sort of scenario, and say, okay, all of these things that are going on, there's obviously like a lot of work that we need to do. We haven't healed. All the past, all the history is just grouping itself right now. There's a threshold, but it's clashing against the wall because it's not able to get through, because we haven't learned what the darkness is telling us. What is it that we need to learn so that we can find the light within it, the lesson within it, the healing within it, the rebuilding together, the coming together as one in compassion, empathy, love, unity. So what is it that we're learning? We're facing in the mirror. So we're looking in the mirror as a humanity right now. We're looking in the mirror and we're looking at what is not working. And in between, there is a balance that is being found by seeing the darkness, wanting to go into the light. But who is holding this? Who is holding the potency, the power of this moment? Well, we are. We are the ones that will create that difference. The threshold is for us to find. So on the follow of this card, let's see what else comes through. I'm definitely thinking that there will be some sort of, I don't know, ha-ha moment. I always wonder what will be the ha-ha moment that will come through. Maybe not. Okay, right. I have patience. So it's interesting because on one side we're being invited to look at the shadow work that we need to do, right? And then we have the patience card. So it's saying, well, you know, you need to have also a lot of patience because sometimes what is not evident needs to come through and then it takes a bit longer. So maybe for all of those who are feeling that there is so much going on and we want it to end. A lot of people are saying, when is it ending? This is enough. Well, we need to have a little bit more patience because it hasn't unraveled everything that we need to look at. Okay, so this is saying there's a lot of shadow work to be done, both individually and as a collective globally, because we can see that everywhere. But we need some patience because it's not finished yet. There's a bit more to do. There's a bit more that needs to surface. And it may not take long, but at the moment, instead of pushing against it and trying to make it end, we just need to have that patience and understand that in God's time or universe or a source or whatever you want to call it, there will be a balance found. Right now, it's patience that's being required. Now, because I have the patience card here, I think I'll pick another card to see what else comes through. So just bear with me while I sort of juggle the cards on one side and I'll just do some shuffling and see what else comes through. Okay, let's put that third card. Very, very good. Accelerated motion. So doesn't it fit in well with what I've just said on the other two cards? Let me just pick them up. So we had the dark shadows to be dealt with, and then patience. So definitely there's movement happening. Now, not with the same movement of the cards that I had in my hand, not that sort of clumsy. Now, this card is saying when we're least expecting it, what we're doing is we're projecting out all of this, you know, the rough patch of what's going on and why isn't it ending? What's it going to take for this to all end? And that patience is required because otherwise we're pushing. Instead, see yourself on the other side. This is what it's saying. Because the moment that we can see ourselves, it's that number 8 card. The moment we can see ourselves on the other side, we are accelerating the motion. So therefore that patience and this moment of shadow work comes to a point where it's done. But right now we're being invited with this card to accelerate the motion by seeing ourselves on the other side. Now this can be that globally there's like a wave starting off. So if we start the wave somewhere where there will be a moment of, okay, a total collapse, then that will start a wave of people then accelerating this motion because they want to get out of that collapse and they are putting forward how they can rebuild after that collapse. So whether it's a total collapse of all of us coming to a point where we have to then rebuild, or whether it starts at one end of the globe and then it comes and rumbles along and the wave keeps moving, doesn't really matter because the first ones will start this motion, this accelerated motion. So it feels more to me that it will start in one side of the globe, that the motion will be that this collapse that we're seeing happen, it's definitely going to cross the whole globe, but the ones that experience it first will be the ones that then start the rebuild and accelerate that motion. So right now, patience, but do the inner work. And this is valuable, even this 8 of motion forward. It's also valuable on an individual level because sometimes we have to touch rock bottom. Sometimes we have to hit the lowest point for us to then want to see a better picture. So we are putting out, I don't want this anymore. What else can I do? There's change happening, but it's also taking care of, taking care of yourself, going inside and making sure that you are putting in motion better images of your future moment, right here in this moment, right here now, always happens here. But at the same time, then it accelerates. And this all of a sudden just disappears until the next moment where there is change required. So I do hope that this has helped you in this moment. Sometimes the cards come through quite strongly, inviting us to sort of look on the other side of the mirror. What am I reflecting out? What is coming back to me? Can I understand why it's reflecting back to me what I don't want? And then what is it that I truly want to see, and how can I see myself in it? I think all of us need to start doing that rather than looking at what's going on right here, right now, in this moment, which is what we've already created. Instead, see ourselves as already being in a better space. That accelerates that motion forward, and the patience that is required will also accelerate the shadow work. I do hope this has helped you, and it always helps me in any case. And thank you till next time.